Hello, you beautiful, amazing, wonderful people listening. It is fall. We're vibing to it. You're listening to a podcast. Hopefully, you're feeling cozy. There's a little crispness in the air, but you're nice and cozy in a cute sweater. And I'm next to someone who doesn't get to experience the cozy right now. Sav, how's it going?
It's going good. You're right. There's a heat wave at the moment, so it's 90
Ooh.
degrees. I had myself a little beach day on Saturday because it was so hot. It was lovely. But I miss fall weather. When you don't live where there's fall weather, that's the only time. I don't miss snow. Like, I can go to snow. I miss fall and everything that, like, the smells, the sights, the leaves, the crispy, the excuse to get a hot latte, the, like, coziness of Gilmore Girls. I just don't get that. Are you
Stunning.
experiencing it right now?
Oh yeah, today specifically, like the weekend, like fall hit. Like I was even just got into the office today and I looked. I live in an area, or not live, work in an area that's very New Yorky. It's a lot of brick, a lot of like cutesy coffee shops, Gastown area if you live in Vancouver. And there was like the leaves just in front of my windowsill have just turned orange and the brick wall, crisp air. I was like, oh, I'm in a knit sweater like Taylor Swift. What more?
What more can you ask for? I truly don't know. Well, now you need your pumpkin spice latte in your hand, and that's all you need.
I haven't had one yet, but I did try the new Crunch
What?
Oak pecan one. I'm waiting. I like
From
to wait till
Starbucks?
October. Yeah, the brand new one. And
I
it
haven't heard of
sounded
it.
weird. Just listen to this. Like, what was it? Pecan oat crunch latte. Like, what are you trying to be, Starbucks?
How was
What
it?
is this? It was phenomenal. Like, and I'm not like one to like be swayed by it. I'm like, I'm coming a hater for Starbucks. I'm like, you better impress me. But it was Christmassy, very Christmassy. So I'm gonna take a pause on it and like have it again in November. But very like Christmas cookie vibes.
Ooh, okay.
Hmm.
I love their macadamia nut cold brew. Have you ever had that? That's
I'm not a,
Christmas vibes.
I have not. I'm next to never have like a cold brew or a cold drink. So unless it's hot, I probably am not trying it.
Yeah, that's fair. Have I ever told the story of Starbucks and cold brew on here and what they did when I worked there?
You might have, but it's been so long I don't remember. So please retell.
Okay. So you guys, way back yonder in college, I worked at Starbucks, okay? Cold brew had just became a popular thing. So they were like, we're going to try it out. And they were trying it out with certain stores. I worked in San Diego, and I will never forget, there was a bucket, like a Home Depot bucket, and they put a coffee filter, a huge filter in the bucket, and then they had the grounds and they let the coffee soak in the plastic bucket for 24 hours. That's what cold brew is, right? Like
Yeah.
sits 24 to 48 hours. And then they took out the filter. And for those that don't know, coffee, when it's old, smells like dirty socks. I don't know why, but there's some smell of socks to it. And they take it out and then they pour the Home Depot bucket into like a batch. And then we would serve the cold brew. And it was so gross because like you'd put the lid
Yeah.
on it, but like in my head, what if you forget to put the lid? Like what if it's just sitting there and there's some dust in there? I don't know. But like I still get cold brew because I assume they have a better system now, but they were testing it out. This was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know, 2017 maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe it was just my experience, but let me tell you, I'll never forget the bucket that sat in the back that was like smelly socky. And they're like, it's our new cold brew. You got to try it. I was like, hell no, I'm not trying that.
That summarized, but like on a franchise level of like anytime you see chef's menu, little insider baseball is to avoid it. It's one of two things. Either the chef is just feeling creative and he's just winging it, so it could churn out and he's just playing a new recipe, or it's just whatever they have left over. And so they just put it together to make today. So if it's like fish of the day, like this fish of the days, they have something broad and special, but you know, like the chef's menu, a lot of the time it was like, oh, we have too much salmon. So I guess we're making salmon chowder. Like, so you had just, it's something to know.
Yeah. And also for those that make cold brew, take a little whiff. It smells like dirty socks, guys. That's how I describe it. I'm the girl that thinks Old Navy smells like tortilla chips or tortilla like corn tortillas.
That's specific.
I'm a specific girl. So just next time, think about it and think of your dirty socks.
I will.
I don't know if you want to drink it, but I still do.
You know what? There's a lot of things you just turn a blind eye to in life. You know, an adult, you're like, I enjoy this too much for it to be ruined, so I don't care. I don't care.
Oh my God, it's like Taco Bell. Like my cousin worked at Taco Bell and I knew that the beans are just powder and that they just mix it with water and that's what their beans are. And I still will order a bean burrito all the time. Well, I feel like I don't really eat at Taco Bell anymore. But when I'm drunk, you bet your ass I'm ordering the bean burrito or the Crunchwrap Supreme with extra beans.
Just another thing to alarm. Limes at a restaurant, you're risking, especially actually restaurants, usually like a really nice restaurant, you'll be fine. But if you go to a bar and you see like a bucket of limes and you're like, oh, can I have some limes? You are drinking the tequila, so the tequila is probably going to like burn through any toxin in your mouth at the exact same time. But just think how many people's hands are being dived in. And I remember when I used to work in bars, we'd have these big buckets of limes just so people could grab them. And people thought it was tip jars half the time. So like by the end of the night, you would look in it and it was just like the saddest goop of water and random quarters and a couple limes. And you're like, well, someone's getting something tonight.
So gross.
So,
I feel
but
like you have to turn your blind eye to all these like restaurant things.
You know what? Now I just say I built my immune system. And that's why I don't get sick, because I ate bar limes. Simple.
True.
Math. Girl math.
I was going to say, you do love the tequila and lime.
I do.
So I come back for my cold brew. You come back for your dirty lime.
Yep. I'm still going to keep drinking tequila. Because that's my rationale. I was like, you know what I mean? The lime, but there's the alcohol in. Alcohol kills germs. So it really counteracts itself, right?
You know what that's
right?
called? Girl math.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it's called.
Drunk girl math.
Fully. I was like, just health. It's healthy. You know what I mean? The vitamin C and the lime and the alcohols counteracting the germs. And so therefore, it's a salad.
It is a salad. Yeah,
when you
absolutely.
really think about it.
It's
Tequila's
green.
a salad. It's green, some veggies, a
tequila's
guave.
the dressing.
Exactly.
I love it.
Well, on that hot take, do you have any hot takes for me today?
Yes. So, speaking of not drinking, I have been binging the show Outlast. Have you heard of this on Netflix?
It's trying to get me to dabble. It's promoting it. I haven't touched it, but I know it's like on my third recommendation always right now.
Let me tell you, you need to dibble dabble. Especially, were you a Girl Scout? Were you a camper?
I think they're called brownies in Canada.
Okay.
Maybe not now, Girl Scouts. I never did that, but I was very campy. And not the Met kind.
Let me educate you on Girl Scouts, because I was in Girl Scouts till I was like fucking 15. So like too old, but I loved Girl Scouts, and it goes from Daisy to Brownie. So you're not wrong. You're a Brownie.
Oh, okay. That's where the name comes from.
To Cadet. Okay. I made it all the way to Cadet. I don't know what you can make after.
Not to interrupt, but before I forget, my mom was a Brownie, and I remember she used to always say that. She was like, but I was like, isn't that Girl Scout? Now I see the correlation. So we do have Girl Scouts in Canada. I stand corrected.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend. I loved being a Girl Scout. I literally stayed a Girl Scout as long as I could so I could go to camp and like hang out with the girls. But anyways, Outlast is definitely not like Girl Scout camp. But I'm from Washington, okay? A lot of my family is Alaskan. It's based in Alaska, and I thought it was survivalists. But like really, once you creep on them, they just like to camp and like know some primitive skills. Like I can light a fire. Like if you need me to light a fire, I mean, I may need some stuff, some flint, but I can light a fire. I know how to do certain knots, right? So I feel like I could go on the show. But these people, well, I'd never do it because they eat like mice, and the biggest drama is like, oh no, how's she going to survive the night without a sleeping bag? And it is like the best show ever. And Jason Bateman produces it. And the way that they leave it on a cliffhanger when you didn't think there could be any drama in the woods. And it's never like personal drama. It's like survivalist. Like, oh shit. Like she's sick from drinking water that wasn't boiled. And it's so good. You should watch it.
Is it the second season?
Yeah. I loved the first one too.
I watched the first season. Now that I think of it, I was like, I couldn't remember if it was a different show. Because honestly, I won't lie. That show's been done 100 times. It will forever be good. But it's like between Survivor and like Someone in the Wild and all those guys, you know what I mean? It's been done. But I will always be suckered in. It's like human instinct because we all sit there and it's like, it's just what we do. We're like, would we survive? And you sit there the whole time, be like, oh, what would I do? And in my mind, I'm like, I could totally survive. I wouldn't. I would last 5 days max.
Oh yeah. We're so domesticated now. And like, it is kind of silly where they like really don't hunt very often. Like the most they ever hunt is a porcupine. And that was like, they're living the dream, right? So it is fascinating if you think about it, how back in the day, we didn't have all of the luxury we have now. And like, they go maybe a month tops and they were all kind of burning out. Like, it is kind of crazy that like we could not survive on our own, for sure.
Just like our dogs, domesticated dogs. That's all we are. It's like all our human instinct is gone. And honestly, I could never go on the shows just because my family would be so humiliated because my family is so outdoorsy. Like most of the people in my family easily, they're like, oh yeah, a month, that's fine. They do that for fun. They do that for a hobby. They go with a backpack and they just go just for their own recreation. And then I would be like calling them after 12 hours, like, I can't do it. I'm chilly. I'm not even cold. I'm chilly. And I would be complaining.
First night, I'd be like, I quit.
Yeah.
And my brother would be really good at it. He's the same way where he loves the woods. He loves that kind of stuff. And I'm like, glamping, maybe? Like, I do like to camp. I'm a camper. I'm, you know, all my Girl Scouts. But like, I don't like being cold. I live in 80-degree weather year round for a reason. Imagine Alaska where it's like 29 at night and you have a fire going. That's about it.
See, I love like a good glamp. Like I want to camp. I want to cosplay it, but I want a warm shower at the end of the night to like wash it off.
Yeah, absolutely. So, 2 types of people.
Yeah, I need plumbing. That's it. I just need some plumbing.
And access to my phone. What's your hot take?
One, I want to know if you guys are noticing this because I noticed it last year and it's coming up in a new font. The at-home reformer ads. Now, I don't know if you saw on Pilates or on Pinterest, they had all the wall Pilates. Like every second ad was like a girl doing wall Pilates. And now that same company is like promoting on my Instagram story of this like at-home reformer kit you can buy from them. And I'm curious if anyone else is getting it or they're really targeting me. Have you started getting them? Because I have some tea.
I have not started getting them quite yet. I used to get the wall Pilates. But I'm sure once I get on Pinterest after this, because, you know, your girl is still looking for her fresh cut bob, it's going to come. So tell me, what's your tea?
So here's a little tea. So now everyone has to let me know when the reformer ads come for them, because I think there's my prediction. But I did that 14-day wall Pilates, and I was like, hey, I'm going to review it. And did I tell you how they like tried to send lawyers at me?
Why?
Okay, this was the slimiest thing I've ever had a company do. And so just the podcast people can know. So if you go to that video now, you'll notice it's blurred out because they messaged me and they were like, defamation, like take this down, like, because I kind of trashed it a little. Like I was like, it was a very annoying app. It was very like suck you in with a free trial, you can't cancel, very like that vibe. And then they were like, yeah, we're gonna have our lawyers come, we have like cease and desist, like take down immediately, or we're gonna have to bring this to court. And like I can't afford a lawyer. I don't have a team. I'm just on my own. And so like I immediately on YouTube, you can blur things after. So I went and just like blurred out the company because I was like, this video is doing well. I'm not taking it down. So I just like blurred out the company and then was like, people will be able to figure it out because the ads everywhere. And so then I messaged them back. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I did not mean anything harm by it. Like I'm just like, you know, freedom of speech. I don't know what it's called. I was like, I'm just reviewing it. This is my own experience and it's free promo at the end of the day. And so I messaged and I was like, super sorry. Like it's blurred. I hope this fixes everything and there's no problems. And I was like, I was honestly losing sleep. Like I was so panicked that I was going to have a lawsuit against me. They come back and be like, well, there's actually a workaround of how you can use our stuff for free. Would you consider doing a sponsorship? So they like weaseled me in so I'd feel guilty about not giving permission and using this. So they threatened me with lawyers and then to like scare me and then to like convince me, you know what I mean? They use this like, we'll come at you with all of our lawyers that did this, but the one way to go around is you can work with us. I'm like, you are that? I've like never been so offended. So I just like delete, not respond. But now I'm like, now I kind of want to come at them again and tell the story.
Can they still come after you?
I don't think so. Like next time I'm just going to blur it so they can't like, they can't prove it's about them, but I'm just going to, like the funny thing about the algorithm is like, I'm like, oh, you're going to get the ad in 30 seconds. So you'll know what I'm talking about because I'm talking about it. You know what I mean? So there's a little tea.
That's crazy. Also, it's kind of like, I mean, get a little thick skin, Pilates people, because there's going to be someone that doesn't like your product. Just like there are people that don't like us. And you got to grow some thick skin and not threaten to sue them. That's crazy.
And I don't think like that. I think it's like they've just used this tactic before. Like, we'll take you down. But it's like, oh, if you want to use it again, why don't you do a spot? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Bad
guilty
karma.
people into get sponsorships. Like, I truly feel that's like, it's like a sales tactic. I'm like, that's not nice. I thought you wanted to sue me and I lost sleep.
Yeah. And like suing is like the ultimate bad karma. Like, I fundamentally believe that because, and you know, depending on what they do, obviously, but like, I just feel like an eye for an eye is never the case. There was, my friend just told me a story about this girl that was at a hotel and she went surfing and like they didn't give her a proper surfing instruction. And so she grabbed the board wrong and her finger ripped off. But it was just like a tiny nub of her finger.
Okay.
But like nonetheless,
so not great, but
the finger is gone. And so she like was like, I'm going to sue you guys. And they offered her like millions. And we're like, off of a tiny nub of a finger, not even the full finger. Okay. It was her ring finger, which would be a little upsetting if you're going to get married. But you know, you want the little nub. But anyways, she was like, no, like I'm not settling. I'm taking you to court, like greedy. Off of a finger. Lost. She lost.
Oh, that would suck. Because in my rationale, I'm like, $1 million for a nub of finger? Take it.
Absolutely.
I'm like, that's a great, here you go.
Literally.
I don't need it.
What would be your lowest amount you might give? And like, keep in mind, it's just like, it's maybe the fingernail, that nub.
Honestly, I feel $1 million for a nub is like pretty good. Like that will set me up for life. Like honestly,
Nothing
in this economy,
less?
honestly, in this economy, that doesn't get you much. But $1 million, I can set it up well that I'm kind of set for life. The others, I don't know. By the time taxes and all that, and here in Canada, I'm walking away with $50K. You know what I mean? Like,
call me crazy. Would I like settle for maybe 200,000? It's a nub of your finger. Like,
true, but I guess
what can you do with your nub? It's not. You don't really need it.
Okay, we have to put context because $1 million Canadian is only like $700K American, and $200K American's like $400K, and then you don't have to pay taxes, and I pay 50% taxes. So actually, 200,000 in Puerto Rico is the same as $1 million in Canada. When you really break it down, that's a harsh reality.
That is like, I think I was talking to my friend being like, are you sure it was $1 million? And she was like, I don't know. I was a lot younger. It might have been 15,000. And in my mind, it was $1 million. I was like, okay, 15. Depending on my age, it would have been like sold. Yeah. I'll hush.
Oh, I remember hearing like people made $50K a year, which is $30K American, and being like, whoa, do you know how much I could do with that? And now after taxes and rent, I'm like, you got nothing.
Yeah. I have a secret of I can't go into detail, but let's just say I was injured on premise because they were being very neglectful. And I did end up contacting a lawyer because I was actually like, I couldn't continue to live there anymore.
Yeah.
But we agreed. They were scared of me. And they agreed like, okay, we'll just let you go. No penalty. And like, you just have to forget about it. That's as much as I can say. Don't you know about this story? This is years ago.
I don't think so.
It was like,
you'd have to.
I was like hardcore injured. Actually, it was right before you and I met.
I was going to say, I don't remember this at all. And I would remember this. I'm as confused
like,
as
fucked
listeners
up.
right now. You have to tell me after.
I definitely told you it when we first met. Maybe that
Honestly,
wasn't, first friend chatter. But
honestly,
I didn't
feel it was
know
one
back
of those.
then.
Do you know when you like first meet someone, you're just like trying to like play it so well that like you don't really like, you know what I mean? I feel I didn't fully take it in because I'm
But
just like
I
just trying to be
had
on good behavior.
bruises and burns.
Oh, it's like coming back
my
to
manager
me,
knew
us
about
having
it.
this conversation, but I can't remember the details. I like
Yeah.
it's
Story
gonna
for
take me.
another time. I'm
soon as you
so
tell me-
sorry, but I feel like I can't. I don't know what you're allowed to say and not say. If you sign contracts, I don't know. Right?
Yeah, I'm confused, but we're gonna tell after. So.
yeah. I'll fill you in later.
Please.
But anyways, I was never gonna actually like take action. It was more of like they were just being really difficult, and I was like, well, technically this happened, and they were like, shit. She's not wrong. She could get us on this, and I was like, I have proof, video, everything, hospital, everything. Yeah.
You know what? Keep receipts, people. Keep
Keep receipts. Mm-hmm.
Always.
Mm-hmm. And that's on losing your finger. Do you have any other hot takes?
Just one simple. Now, I actually, it wasn't even that good. I'm just overwhelmed with health and wellness content and like comments and everything. So I'm like, I'm just going to take a break from it. Do you know what I mean? You take in so much. And today I was walking and I was like, I'm actually healthy. I've gotten everything tested. I'm healthy. Why am I chronically thinking like, oh, this is wrong with me and this is wrong with me? You know what I mean? I was like, every once in a while, you just need a little break from all these podcasts and Instagrams and YouTubes and reading the comments, especially reading the comments, because then you'll be convinced you have a million diseases. I was like, I literally just got tested for everything, and it was almost a clean bill of health. But in my mind,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
The balloons are
it's a clean bill
celebrating
of
for
health,
you.
and it said balloons. Thank you, Apple. Oh, Apple, shucks.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
it's
but
just a
didn't you
reminder.
do the body test? You came
Yeah,
back
this was
with...
it.
Amazing.
There was like
you never told me.
a few little things that were like off, and like it was like my omegas were bad, but I also was traveling for 3 months, and I was like, I didn't care about eating salmon. So there's a couple things like that, but there was nothing like, there was like, it was pretty much clean aside from just like odd little things to like perfect. But then like I read these comments and I consume all this, and I'm like, oh, I'm sick and I'm not doing this well enough, and I need to do this, and then I was kind of like, hey, I'm doing pretty good. So I'm just gonna start acting like, you know what I mean? Instead of,
I love that.
I think we all feel that sometimes. Like, oh, we're
Absolutely.
not doing enough and we're doing too much of this and too much. I'm like, I think a lot of us, especially if you're listening to health and wellness podcast like this one, you're probably doing pretty good. So give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah. But you know what? This is rich. This is rich coming from somebody that decided to screenshot a response from a follower about chiropractors.
Oh, so
Thanks.
Yeah.
Because
I
my
thought
hypochondria is like, I read that in the notes and was like, great. And update on the chiro. I did talk to her. I said, I was so sore. I'm still to this day so sore. And she said, we can get x-rays, we can get it figured out. But I decided it's not for me. I'm getting a deep tissue massage. It's not for me.
Well, you wanted to know the legitimacy. We had a doctor actually reach out. So that's a doctor telling us. So I was like,
No,
you know what?
I know. And she's so
I
sweet. And
know.
I really appreciate her. I just was like, great. Now my brain's going to go places I don't need to go.
Well, on that note, I'm just going to talk about a little user submission. So you can plug your ears if you need this. But last week we talked about chiropractors. And then here's what response we got. I'm a doctor and thought I would share the medical view on chiropractors as I find it important, specifically neck cracking. So what can happen when you do that kind of neck cracking is that the inner wall of the arteries that supply your brain and goes through your neck can get hurt. This can lead to a stroke. It's called vertebral dissection. It is common, but I would personally never do this kind of neck cracking, and I don't recommend doing it since there's no evidence behind it actually solving any problems. I would recommend soft tissue treatments, as Keltie was talking about, with physiotherapy instead. Obviously, you don't want to make you more anxious, and as I said, it's uncommon. Hopefully, this gives some clarity. So once again, you didn't just have a stroke. You're okay. You're clearly okay. But that's like,
what if
that's
it sets in later?
No, I feel that would have happened like
What
with
did
the
it?
crack. Yeah.
Doctor, please write back in. Let me know. How long?
Please do assess.
I can't Google. And you guys don't understand. I am an extreme hypochondriac. I will think everything and anything is wrong with me. So this definitely did not help.
No. Can you please give the other hot take? Because I have to quickly go grab something. So please read your second hot take, because I don't know anything about this series.
Okay. The series. Oh, she thinks I wanted to talk about the winter arc. Has anybody heard of this term floating around a little meandering on TikTok? Because everyone is using this trendy phrase, and I actually like it. So it's called winter arc, and I watched like a whole tutorial, and you've got 90 days starting October 1st to do whatever the hell you want until the end of the year, right? So if you think about it, you could work on your physique, maybe you could work on your habits, maybe you could go to therapy, whatever you really want, right? But I loved the idea that TikTok was having, and like I'm all fit girl, fall girly, right? Like obviously that's been my challenge, and I love that that's more of a 60-day challenge. So I just thought it was really neat. And if you guys are looking for something inspiring, maybe check out this little trend of winter arc, because I had to Google it and I was like, what the hell does this mean? And maybe make like a little goal for you, because right now I feel like everybody's like sleeping on everything and just like, oh, I'll push it off till New Year's, or they're like, oh, I pick it back up in February. And I'm like, no, why not be that girl that looks hot AF when you go to your Christmas party and they're like, damn, what happened to you? So that's kind of my little, I didn't think it was a hot take. I just like loved the idea. Keltie is still not back, but she's about to come. And I can hear her. Here she is. She's back.
Hello. I just sprinted up 3 flights of stairs, but we're back.
Good job. Did you think Winter Arc was a series?
Is that not
No.
the fourth wing? I thought that's what everyone was talking about. Winter Arc being like part of the
Of course,
fourth wing.
you thought that it was a book talk.
I thought
No.
it was. What's Winter Arc?
Okay, Winter Arc. Well, I just explained it to them. But it's basically like from October 1st till the end of the year, you have 90 days. And everyone's just calling it, like I call it Fit Girl Fall. They're calling it Winter Arc. And I was just saying, like, that's fun. It's almost like, that Hailey Bieber thing where like the bubblegum pink nails, but in reality it's just pink.
Yeah.
Like it's just making it more, it's romanticizing your life a little bit more and making it fun. Like, why not,
You know what? We live in Groundhog Day, and at the end of the day, every year is the same. So if we can just make it feel like a newer year, you know what I mean? I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You never know out of breath. I sprinted up 3 flights of stairs carrying a very heavy package. So just, if I'm panting, just know that's why.
Okay, good job. I was going to take over your first topic, but then I was like, I didn't write these out. What if I butcher it?
You know what?
So,
that's okay.
Sorry, you don't have a chance to breathe.
No, and you know what? I'm just going, this is great for my VO2 max right now. I'm just
There
so
you go.
healthy. Watch me faint. Knock on wood. Headline number 1. TikTok's newest food trend, Fridgescaping. Have you heard of it?
No, tell me.
Okay, this is where people turn the inside of their fridge into a whimsical display. It's a play on tablescaping, so when people like have nice like baskets, china, antique vases, silver trays, really like setting their table, specifically in like themes, but in their fridge. So like they want their fridge to look like a whimsical shop window display. So some are doing like Bridgerton themes, like even storing like fresh flowers and vases and all that kind of thing. What are your thoughts? In their fridge? Yes, in their fridge. So pretty much making their fridge like a beautiful display. What are your thoughts?
Man, I got to get on this TikTok trend of just, I want to see it. Coming from a girl that like, I can barely keep my head up water of keeping my fridge clean. Like, does anyone else relate to that? Of, sometimes sauce spills and I don't get around to it for a while. I can't imagine doing this. I think this is for someone that's type A. Because for a type B girl, I would never do this. Because then, like, are the flowers real? Like, do they die? Like, how often am I looking at my fridge?
I don't know. That's the question. I was like, do you think this is worth it? Would you do it? It's one of those things I hate that I know exists because it looks so nice. It looks so pretty. Just like those restocking fridges, like TikToks and all that. It's so satisfying to watch. But at the same time, I'm like, this is so dumb. You poured something in plastic into more plastic. And I'm someone who loves an organized fridge. Like, that's something I dreamed about forever because we never had that. Of like, I go to other people's house and they had all the different drinks. And I remember just being like, oh my God, one day when I move out, I'm going to have every beverage I could want. And I do that. But as soon as I organize my fridge and I have it fully stocked with every kind of drink and all these, like everything freshly cut, I just sit there and I'm like, the second I actually use my fridge and move one thing, it's all ruined. So why did I even do this? Because like I'll rearrange it all and then I have one drink and it's gone. So I'm like, this, your fridge is just meant to keep things cold.
Fridgerton is the name.
Oh, that's honestly kind of slaps.
That's hilarious. But like this girl has freaking like what's it called? Photo frames in her fridge. Or like there's a Halloween one. I would never. I would never do something like this because you're totally right. Once you move one thing, it's done. What if your peanut butter's behind the frame of your picture? Mm-hmm. Now you ruined it.
It's one of those things that social media has created, and you have to think of it like art. You can't think of this as like you'll never do it. It's like a Vogue article. It's like when people wear really tiny outfits in the winter and take a photo in it. It's like it looks beautiful, but like you're not walking around in a mini skirt when it's -30 in the snow. Like it's the same premise. You're like, oh, this looks really cool and it looks so pretty, but no, never actually do it. Like you have to think of it like art. You have to think of it as like a cover album. I'm like, yeah, it looks cool, but it serves absolutely no point. And the only people maybe it works for is New York girlies who just Uber Eats everything and don't make a single thing at home. Honestly, if you never cook, might as well use a fridge for something.
Loved it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a vibe.
Because Vogue also fed her more.
I can see the quote. I can see the quote.
Iconic. But this is like ultimate first world problems.
Literally. We've gone too far.
So funny.
We've gone too far.
Way too far. Okay, that's fascinating.
Next headline. Health experts warn you will die early if you can't do this simple test at home. So I just thought it was a fun little thing. Like there's occasionally you hear, and I have heard of this one before, but if you can't hold the dumbbell that's 75% of your weight for at least a minute, and this is because grip strength is one of the best indicators of lifespan, just because like it's one of those just like odd things that you can test because grip strength will show how strong you are in general. And so it's kind of like an easy way to show how strong you are, which improves longevity, yada, yada, yada. But right now, do you think you could hold 3/4 of your weight for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Do you have to like hold it in a certain position or any way you want?
It's just like hold it with your hands by your side because it's just grip strength. So you're just holding on.
Do you think you can?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do the math. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Nice.
You know, as a girl that competed in bars and gymnastics, say my grip strength. And I also was a volleyball player and a setter, and I practiced with my wrists because you have to have really strong wrists. Not necessarily grip, but I'd say like I could fuck it up maybe.
I think you got it. Just don't lose it. You got it. Don't lose it.
Well, that's terrifying.
Every 5 years, just test it.
Okay.
It's just, you don't have to go to the doctor. Just go, boom, I can do it. And if you start going downhill, just work on your grip strength. Simple.
You should make a reel out of that.
Honestly, that reel would slap. I should do
that. That reel would so slap. Like, health experts warn you.
No,
it's
just
giving Keltie.
Yeah. It's giving clickbait. Fear-mongering. It's giving Keltie.
It's giving Keltie. It's giving. But I love your reels because you're always like,
thank you.
What shoes? I mean, but you're so good at that stuff. You know, I'm over here like, hey, let's get ready. You're like, you captivate people. And this is a captivating one.
I will say, I love that 8-second hook and I get you in there because you know, no one's attention span. And I'm like, the rest I can chill out. But that first 5 seconds, I'm like, I got to fear-monger you a little and then we're going to chill out.
Yeah. Then we're going to sit down. It's not that deep. You know, speaking of, what did you just say? Attention spans. Oh, yes. I was talking to Nona the other day, and I was like, Noni, we got to talk about this. What is with all these fitness influencers doing these half a second clip of them just at the gym in dark lighting and just like a flex, a push, a dumbbell row. And it's like, it hurts my eyes. And it's so confusing because I'm like, is this educational? Are they sharing their workout? But like, they just look like badasses. Have you seen these reels? Like they look good. They look like little baddies. But I'm like, why? Why is everyone doing this? And she's like, because the attention span sucks. I'm like, wow, what happened to the good old swipe workouts? What happened to let me take you through a workout? No, these poor
Not
girls can't even finish a shoulder press without someone wanting to swipe away.
No. You know what was the worst trend of 2024? And whoever came up with it, I want to just scream at you. Is that blink sound effect. You remember where it was just like blink? And like it was just text. It was just like a one. I
hate
kid
it.
you not, one time, I just like, you know when you just like scroll, like you've clicked the one reel and you just scroll down to like go explore? Every single one for like 20, because it makes you watch the whole way through because it's so fast. And so like you don't even, and I just remember one time scrolling 5 times, it was all the same sound because it was clearly working. Like it hacked the algorithm. And I'm like, if I hear that blink sound effect one more time, I'm just done. I leave. I'm like, I'm out of social media for the day. I'm out.
I totally agree. I do. And it still comes up. It's still going strong.
It's like, it makes so much sense because it's just a second long. And like watch time is like what percent, like the algorithm, like what percent you watch through the entire video. And because it happens so fast, you watch through the whole time. But then there's some caption that you're like, oh, might as well see what it says. And so you just watched 800%. So algorithm's like, wow, you must love this. In reality, it's just some random Pinterest quote and someone blinking. Which honestly, can't hate the player. It works. I can't hate anyone that did it. Yep, I hate it. I hate that game. Instagram, that algorithm. I hate it.
I agree.
Actually, I'm going to skip to headline 5 and then we'll go back because this is just too appropriate.
Okay.
Cutting your screen time by this much per day may ease anxiety. An experiment published in Technology, Mind, and Behavior showed cutting screen time down by 30 minutes each day improves psychological well-being. So I thought, have you noticed benefits when you cut down? And if so, how are you able to cut down on screen time?
I have. This is something if I like go on my phone immediately in the morning, I notice I'm so much less productive throughout the day. And like comparison is such a thief. And like if you go on your phone, you're always comparing no matter what app it is, right? So I actually have really practiced cutting down my time. And I think it has just naturally helped that I'm reading. So instead of like watching TV, because if you think about it, you watch Netflix, you watch Outlast, you're like, oh, let me go creep on these people. If I'm reading, I'm not even on my phone. It's not even near me. So I feel like I then slowly get used to not going as much. And I make it like I only go on TikTok if I'm on the Stairmaster. I'll only go on Instagram for like a short period until I have to get off. I feel like it's helped me. And I used to be somebody that like, I mean, you know this about me. It would really eat at me and give me anxiety, and I'd compare. And so I think the reading has just helped me be lost somewhere else than like a phone. What do you think?
That's such a good one. Oh, fully. Like it's night and day. Like having times away from social media and just that like swirling thoughts. Like even what I said at the beginning of the episode of like, so many opinions. Like we're not meant to take in this many opinions, and not even like some of the opinions aren't bad, but like our brains just aren't meant to take in this many different information, and some will conflict. And so no wonder we have like anxiety, and like you'll always feel like you're falling behind, and you'll always feel like there's something new to buy. And so I just feel like time away from it just reminds you of like the real world and what's important. And one thing I will give a hack. Yes, it costs a little bit of money, but it does work. If you're like nothing's working, I like, because you almost have to break that habit. And once you break the habit of like, I'm just going to watch TikTok on blank time. Like I love your Stairmaster, something like that. Like but you're struggling, there's an app called Opal and it does work. And it literally just blocks the apps at specific times. So I have it set up. So at like 8 p.m., it just blocks it. And like the only way to get out of it is you have to watch a 1-minute screensaver. And like no one's attention span is going to watch a 1-minute screensaver. So you're just like, true, I shouldn't be. And like it's enough time for you to be like, are you really going to sit here for a minute and stare at a blank wave to watch Instagram? I'm like, yeah, true. I'm not going to. And so there's just a little hack if you can't get to it, because it's night and day how much better it makes you feel. Yeah.
Also, I feel like even like my Instagram algorithm, something's up with Instagram. It's like it doesn't even give me things that I want. It's like the first 5 videos will give me what I want, and then the rest are weird. It's like, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but it's made it really hard for me to like scroll in the Explorer on Instagram, where I just stopped doing it. I'll do it like see my friends, but like not necessarily as much. Like I would prefer TikTok if I'm going to just like, if I need something to distract me with cardio, it has to be TikTok, because it'll like actually know what I want, you know, the Swifties, the songs, everything. Sabrina
Instagram-
Carpenter's out right now. I'm getting that fed. It's
so
great.
good, so good. I just feel Instagram like notices one thing you like, and so it just gives you so much of that in different fonts. It's like, oh, you like oranges? Okay, orange recipe, orange drinks, oranges. I'm like, no, I just happen to like one reel that was orange juice. It is, I'm not obsessed with orange juice. Versus like TikTok smart enough to pick, oh, you like orange juice, so we also know you care about climate in Australia. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like it has the different connections, so that's the difference. But I agree, like Instagrams is just, you're like, why am I doing this? Why am I on here sometimes?
But like, I love Instagram the most. So they're really bumming me out. Like, Instagram, please get it together. As a fellow person that uses Instagram and it uses it for her business as well, I'd say maybe pull your shit together. Get your shit back.
We just want to see our friends and the people we follow.
I like the explore page. I like finding other people.
If I was going to say, and then having the time with my third was going to be like, and go explore. But you know what I mean? It's like a mess right now. It's like, I'm exploring, but I'm trying to find my friends. And like, I like it compartmentalized. Like, oh, right now I'm seeing my friends. Okay, let's go see what is trending. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like TikTok does a good job of it. I feel it's like your
Totally.
friends or your following. Like, something like that. Instagram.
Yeah. Keep the following when you scroll to who you follow. Because you know how they'll pop up random humans? I'm like, no, that's not why she's on my feed. But then if you want to go to the explore, that's when you could be fed the random humans. Because you got to be in the mood for a random human, you know?
Fully. And there's times for both. Now, speaking of time of year for Prime Day, but apparently there's also October Prime Day. I thought it was just a July thing, but October 8th and 9th is Prime Day, and I know you love an Amazon dupe, so I want to know, remind us of your aloe dupes, but any other great Amazon dupes you have for us fit girls.
Oh, shit. I didn't see you wrote this, so I didn't write any dupes down. But let me tell you, I just don't know the names. I know. I love dupes. I use a lot of aloe yoga dupes, and literally you just type in like the dress, whatever it is, and that it'll pop up. I don't know the name of this, but I like them more. And they're obviously more affordable. I love these oh my God, this is going to be pointless for you guys, but it's this cushiony, it looks like a pillow slides, and I love them. My sister-in-law had them at my wedding, and I stole them from her because I love them so much. And like Michael loves them. They're unisex. A girl in my Pilates was wearing them the other day, and she's like, yeah, this Amazon pillow one. It's like you're walking on pillows. Yeah. Mine did get destroyed, but I think I'm really rough. Like, I'm just like not that graceful. So I like, like I don't pick up my feet when I walk, but I like that. I would recommend. Or I love my falsy lashes there. Yeah, you're better on this because I didn't write anything down.
I was going to say, you usually have them in your Instagram highlights. So I feel if people just go through your Instagram highlights, they'll all be there. But there's a little summary of there.
Yeah.
I was like, I won't lie, I'm not like an Amazon girly through and through. I'm like I don't go shopping for dupes unless sometimes but rather there's just like certain things I save up for, and I'm like, oh, this is just like a regular purchase. I know it'll be on sale. And so something I've been doing, which is nice, just a little healthy habit, is I've been getting disposable cameras and just getting like basic moleskin journals, like the big one, or I don't know how to say this company. It's like Luke Turim 1917. It's like another version of moleskin, and just getting a big one of those and the disposable. And I did this in Paris. I did this for my brother's wedding, and I've been making physical scrapbooks with the disposable. And I like using the moleskin because that stays consistent. Like, obviously you can get different journals, but like now I just want to slowly start documenting and having like physical documentation, because I was like, I feel one person in the family has to take responsibility for doing stuff like this. And so now I'm like, it's just fun. Like, I'm like, oh, it's cool that like I know Meg's and mine are Keenan and Kennedy's like kids one day. We can be like, oh my God, look at this. And like, yeah, we can go through our photos and that, but there's just something so fun about going through an old photo album. So disposable cameras though are expensive they're like $30 for this one-time thing. So Amazon Prime Day, that's what I'm going to be looking for. So all our moleskin.
What was the Keenan and Keegan?
Keenan and Kennedy. That's my brother and his wife. Their wedding.
Oh my God. I wonder if anyone else thought this. You were giving away the name of your babies with Meg's.
Oh, no. No, haha, that's funny. Meg's and mine kids, and then Keenan and Kennedy is my brother and his wife. So.
Okay, this makes way more sense.
I'm like, me and my brother are the only ones in our family. So I was like, that's the family tree right there.
Okay, totally makes more sense. I'm like, you just gave away the name of your future children.
No, definitely not that. It's definitely not Keenan. Sorry, Keenan. Maybe he might get a middle name. But
You think Keenan listens to this podcast?
You never know. Kennedy could. Keenan, no.
Yeah.
So, but she might listen to it in the car, so he might be forced to listen to his sister, which he's probably like, oh God, shut up.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I think my brother, like, I told him like 2 years later, I'm like, yeah, I have a podcast. He's like, you do? I'm like,
classic.
Sir. Yeah, I know. Classic
brothers,
boy.
Though. You probably did talk about it a lot, and he just was like, okay, yeah, sure. Doesn't clue in.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I just thought, let's finish off with then 2 little questions from the audience. First, number 1, advice on how to prevent stress from ruining your health and exercise routines. So I think this is someone who probably just gets very stressed out and then just like sabotages in some way, or just can't get to the gym, I'm assuming, or just, you know what I mean? When stress just makes it hard to just have a regular health routine. What are your thoughts?
Oh, that's tough because like we tend to self-sabotage ourselves often. I would say when I feel stressed out, movement actually does make me feel better, and I just have to keep telling myself it, and like maybe make planned outings to get movement in. So like maybe set out your clothes ahead of time, or like physically schedule it into your calendar, meet up with someone so it forces you to go. Because sometimes I feel like it's just getting there. When you're anxious and you're stressed, it's just the fact of like, oh, now I don't have time and things like that. I think if you slow it down and just pick an hour and go and just force yourself, once you're there, you'll feel so much better. And obviously after your workout, you're going to feel phenomenal. But yeah, I feel like with stress, it's like you have to figure out what works for you the most. That kind of works for me, is like setting aside a time, prioritizing it. And like when I'm stressed, movement helps. So I know like I just need to go and force myself to do it, and I'll feel 10 times better. Because at the end of the day, so do you ever sometimes think like, oh my God, I have so much to do, I have to run around, and then you like stop for a second and you're like, this is not that deep. I'm not going to remember this in 10 years. Nobody is dying. Like it's not the end of the world if I don't get this video out. It's not the end of the world, X, Y, and Z. And sometimes you just have to give yourself that perspective, to give yourself grace and take a step back and calm your nervous system and just breathe and slow down. What would you say?
I like that. Just to add on to the stress, like I love thinking about those reels of like remembering you have free will. Like, and then it's like someone just like walking, like the last one I saw was like a barista just walking in the back of like the cafe, and he just looks to the bagel and just grabs the bagel and eats it. 'Cause yeah, you have like, there's nothing technically stopping you for just like eating everything at your work. It's just aside from like societal rules, but like free will, I could technically just like dump this on my laptop right now if I want to. But I mean, just like you said, remembering it's not that deep when you're overstressed. Like obviously it's big deals and life happens, but like sometimes it's just a nice reminder of like, so take a deep breath. And then for me, when I'm super stressed, is like I just try and do like the bare minimum. So I'm like, I'm just going to go outside for 1 minute. I'm going to go on a 30-second walk. And then I'm going to try. And like, it's nice to feel like I love having a physical like checklist or something, being like, I'm going to walk every day this week. And then just like check it off. And don't say I have to walk an hour. Just say I'm just going to walk. And you're like, yeah, I did. And then you just feel something about like getting momentum built. I feel is so important, because once you get momentum, it just becomes like second nature, and you feel better about yourself. Because you feel better about yourself, you want to do more. So I'm like, just start really, really small, and like have some way to like remind yourself you've done it, to look on progress. Because I think also that's the problem with health and wellness, is like sometimes you feel like you're not getting anywhere, you're not doing enough. But if you've just tracked little things of like, oh, I went on a walk yesterday or something, you'll look back and you're like, wow, I walked every day for the last 5 days. I am doing stuff, instead of it just like Groundhog Day. So that's what works for me.
I like that. That's great advice.
And then one last tip, best running sports bra. What's your go-to?
Oh, my current running sports bra. I don't even know if they still sell it. I don't think they do. But my favorite one is the Lululemon high neck Align bra. I haven't seen it, but my sister-in-law bought me it. Like, oh my gosh. Talk about like something that is quality and is like a lasting piece. She bought me it like 2.5 years ago, and I still wear it once a week running. But it keeps all of your puppies in. So anything high neck I'm pretty happy with. What would you say?
I agree. If you're like got a bigger boob ladies, go high neck is really important. You want to make sure you have a thick enough band underneath. For me, I just do the Lululemon Energy bra or the Flow Y bra, but that's for like under B cups, I'd say. Like it's almost like you just need something pressing a little bit. Like I don't want too much support, otherwise it actually interferes with my breathing as someone who's like small chested, because then all the like extra cushioning restricts my rib cage. So there's just like a little tip. I feel like we always talk about like a lot of support for the big girls, which we still should, but for us little girlies, little boob girlies, remember, like you also don't want to like, I used to think I had to be so compressed, and then it actually like started cramping me. So if you notice you always get cramps around your rib cage and it's not nutrition and all that, don't go too heavy with it. So there's both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than like a too tight sports bra on your shoulders. That's my biggest pet peeve.
Ah, yes, that too. You should be able to put, what's it, like 2 fingers underneath it? Isn't that the side like that? Yeah.
That's why I can't shop online for clothes majority. I did just order some, I'm not gonna lie, some cute stuff from I think it was White Fox Boutique. Like they had some really cute tops, and I wanted to get a few dresses for a wedding coming up. But like other than that, I can't, like I have to go into a store and try it on, because you could think, oh yeah, medium will fit me, and then you're miserable and you want to like rip it off of you.
Ooh, one last tip. Who actually has really good sports bras for people like yourself with that is On Cloud, because they have a lot of sports bras that are really adjustable. Like the clamps in the back, the different clips on the strap. So like you get to adjust it fully. If you're someone who like struggles with that, you can fully address the level of support, the length of like your shoulder and back and all that. So check out On Cloud, because like they're specifically just meant for running. Like that's their whole thing. But I've noticed they're really good for that, for my big boobie ladies, which I'm very envious of.
I love that. Don't act like you didn't have them back in the day.
That's why I'm envious. Like I clearly wanted them. I got like I paid a lot of money. I went under the knife to get them, and unfortunately, I grew to hate them because they weren't really mine, and it just didn't work out. But I am envious. Like I tried. It just didn't work for me.
That is fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our episode. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram. Maybe watch us on YouTube if you want a little extra fun video. And yeah, feel free to leave a review, write something, and we'll chat with you in the next one. Submit if you have any confession sessions or even questions you want us to answer.
Bye-bye. Bye.